A lot of songs have been written about Nashville, Tennessee, with lyrics oftentimes making reference to whiskey. Well, for one man from Alabama, those lyrics will always ring true after a night out cost him over $1,200 in Uber fees. A man posted on the TIFU, also known as the Today I F***ed Up Reddit subgroup, about going bar hopping in Nashville with friends for a bachelor party. After a night of double whiskeys and free-flowing beer, the group got kicked out of Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonk rock and roll steakhouse. Yep, that's what he calls it. And so the man decided to call it a night and used his Uber app to get a ride back to their Airbnb. After stumbling around and getting into the car, the man passed out. When he finally woke up and looked around, he realized that he wasn't at an Airbnb at all. He had mistakenly set his destination to home, and as a result, he was driven all the way back to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, almost 250 miles away. He shrugged it off, declaring that for him, the bachelor party weekend was indeed over, and went to bed. The next morning, he woke up and checked his phone. To his surprise, he had an Uber receipt for that ride, amounting to $1,253.71. But that wasn't the end of his weekend. His friends began calling him, wondering where he was. So given the plan was to spend another 3 days in Nashville, he decided to head back to Tennessee to rejoin the group. But this time he was thinking. He drove himself.
I realize that Frosties are delicious, but this is just downright nutty. The Chattanoogan reports that a woman went through the drive-thru of a Wendy's restaurant in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Her credit card was declined 4 times, so the manager asked her to pull forward, so she wasn't blocking the line. After telling her this several times, the suspect finally pulled forward, but then she went back through the drive-thru line again. The manager said the suspect ended up back at the window to collect her order, but her card was declined once again. The manager said the suspect got mad and called her a stupid bitch and threatened to beat her up. The manager said the suspect then got out of her vehicle and tried to go through the drive-thru window to get to her. The manager closed the window so the suspect couldn't get in, and then the woman beat on the window a couple times before getting back into her car and driving away. No word on what happened to that woman, but I hope she ended up getting that Baconator she was looking for. Also, I heard she had red hair and braids, and I'm thinking maybe this is Wendy back to, take over the company? Or maybe just a crazy lady. Who knows?
Well, at least the suspect in this story knew the law. WTRF2 News reports that the Supreme Court of Ohio indefinitely suspended an attorney for repeatedly driving naked and exposing himself to other motorists. Scott Blauvelt from Hamilton, Ohio, was charged with public indecency during a traffic stop in October 2018 when it was discovered that he was driving nude. He pleaded guilty, and in June 2020, he was imposed a 2-year fully state suspension by the Supreme Court. 3 months after that suspension, he was arrested twice more for nude driving and exposing himself, and so the Bar Association requested an interim suspension. According to Court News Ohio, the new suspension by the Supreme Court is the result of another complaint by the Bar Association in June 2021, which alleged that Blauvelt had been convicted of 3 additional counts of public indecency. Blauvelt pleaded guilty to all charges. His sentence included fines, a total of 14 days in jail, and probation terms ranging from 2 to 5 years. Blauvelt has expressed remorse, but struggles with the urge to engage in his illicit behavior. At least you can applaud his confidence, I guess.
Where's Willis when you need him? The Metro reports that an Amazon security guard sued for harassment after claiming he was being ridiculed for his height. Christian Ononye said his colleague compared him to the famously short Gary Coleman from Different Strokes by pinning a picture of the 1980s child star to the wall at work. But the case was thrown out after a tribunal concluded that because the picture in question only featured Mr. Coleman's head and shoulders, it could not have been used to mock his height. Mr. Ononye complained about the incident to site security manager Richard Unit and got the picture removed, but the tribunal heard Mr. Unit did not know who printed the picture or put it up because there was no surveillance coverage in the area. Judge Robin Postal said that Mr. Ononye took offense to the photo, but the picture does not in any way show that Mr. Coleman is of diminished stature. Of course, that sounds like a stretch, given how recognizable Coleman was, and the fact that he was famous for his height, having stopped growing at a height of 4'8". I guess for Mr. Ononye, the outcome of this story wasn't exactly dynamite! Yeah! Oh, wait, that's the wrong 80s star. Oh, what am I talking about?
If you want to see all our videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, click the subscribe button below. I mean, hey, my cat's gotta eat.